I want to take this opportunity as always for tell una all 10 key members of the fourth estate for una join we all across we get prints, digital, we get all the in fact the bloggers them, then they are plenty. And for tell una thank you una they always carry we live. Community radio stations all across Salone and they carry this press conference live. I want for also particularly tell them thank you and then we partner them, the Chinese government, UNDP, and voluntary service overseas VSO we did make sure say all we events them we get live sign language interpretation. So we tell all the plenty thank you for that. Before we get into the heart of the conversation as usual, we want to provide quick updates on the news. Waiting happen at the news inside the past week where we just can let Fambule sends the medal and trophy them for national athletes them across 13 sporting disciplines for honor the outstanding international performance them, and he also launched one new program what they call Football for Schools project. When I remember say particularly the female sports people in this country, the woman them, the man them you need for the pray for them. The man them and then they go win for we. All the different sports the woman and the win, the man them, then we still need for the supports them more. But President be congratulate Sarah Queens on the 17 female football team and all national athletes then where they can represent the green, white, and blue. The different sports they will be include Scrabble, karate, gymnastics, volleyball, cricket, basketball, boxing, cycling, athletics, and women's football, among others. On the 25th of October, the president's been commissioned the state-of-the-art Kono Maternal Center for Excellence na Koidu City. It be described as a landmark achievement. We na a product of the strong partnership between the government of Salone and partners in health. This state-of-the-art hospital don't expand within have been the former government hospital na Koidu from just 48 bed to now 120 bed them. They don't increase operating theater from 1 to 3 and introduce the country in first rural-based neonatal intensive care units. Residents been talk say he glad he say Kono not to place no more we sabi no more for Diamond, but he also allow know them for state-of-the-art health facility and I make it been supports this big investments. The Minister of Information and Civic Education, Honorable Chernoba, been joined President Macron na France, President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana, plenty other world leaders them on a high-level panel na the International Conference on Information Integrity and Independence Media na Paris, France last week. These events na President Macron and President Mahama them convene, they bring together different partners them. And they may ask me, I've been getting the privilege as Minister for Represent Salone for talk about the progress we Salone don't make. I collect for reminder on the press say from 2018, Salone the press freedom index by 23 places, more dramatic than any other country within that period because of President Bill in reform them. They don't end the criminal libel law, would they fund, would they provide resources to sludge. We don't co-launch the National Public Fund for Public Health Media, Public Media and Salone, and within the process for formulate the data protection law, with the strengthened freedom of information law, and not a single journalist not in a Salone, not in a jail in a Salone because of the work they do. This is not part of President Bill in commitments them to uniformize at that index day, and I've been very proud for represent the country in that big platform day. Saturday, 1st November, all Salone people them for congratulate on ourselves because the country Sierra Leone being take in seat again for become president of the United Nations Security Council. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, for congratulate His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio for this great privilege time of great alone take that kind of big seats there. He commend President Bill for inconsistency and in leadership, and he wish we well as we take on that position there for lead the world in global security conversation. On the 3rd of November, the Commissioner for the Anti-Corruption Commission, Francis Ben Kaifala, been take in 2024 annual reports to His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio at one big ceremony within Gretna State House. Commissioner Kaifala been talk about the major achievement them with the commission them being gets inside 2024, including say they don't get a new anti-corruption strategy. 91% compliance rates in asset declaration, one of the best on the continent. And he say don't recover over 22 million new loan and at 22 billion from people in way been they take from governments, or don't get that money they back, we don't put it inside the government's quota. Now one area that against this President kind of power, we've been get 40% when it comes to control of corruption. We have consistently achieved over 70% because of the president's leadership. I want just also give an update on what Mbeke, the results will be for don't get Ministry of Education, yeah, but because of this issue, we will focus on Kush, but let me just give a quick update. The Beke results don't come out, as soon as I know. The summary that we will get 130,135 candidates from 1,987 schools. The total number of students that will be absent for all paper them, all the paper with the name did not show up, now 5,570. Candidates that will take at least one paper now 124,565. The results we WAEC released to MBSSC now 129,260. The results we WAEC withhold entirely 1,673. Late entries we WAEC still all 371. The one that we WAEC all but not give because of continuous assessment 504. Effective results we WAEC analyze 122,037 candidates. The gender breakdown 62,971 candidates for now being female, 59,066 now being male. Females outnumber males for the 5th consecutive year. Again, not to say been there. President Bio in leadership, investment. Pass rates, 5 subjects including English and Math, 94%. Pass, 114,709 candidates. 2024 pass rates now be 93%. So a slight decrease in terms of pass rates by about 2%. Paper pass rates now be 90% and are the 3rd highest ever rates. Highest district pass rates 99.1%. Lowest district pass rates 90%. No districts this year not get below 90%. So again, President Bill reform they all across. The best aggregates now is sister again now woman Maria Mayeli Bangura, Providence International School. It gets aggregate 7. Next best again a gal Pekin Aminata BCC aggregate 8. St. Joseph Secondary School na McKinney. Best average grade 1.50. 6 candidates them inside including Adi Yamatsu Kamara, Sambu Suma, Education Academy Bombali, Esther Feremusu Dumbuya, Naikom High School Godrich, Haja Sunkai Kamara, Christian Reform Church, GSS Kabbalah, Lillian Meata Simbu, Maya Masuma from Chesterton Academy Waterloo. The 2 top candidates, they're all now females. So then I just the summary for Becker. In terms of school performance, schools will get 100% pass rates, 905. Schools with less than 95% or more than 95 pass rates, 481. Highest number of perfect schools ever recorded this year, subject with pass rates 95%. And we will give now this data, so now go also get access to this. Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education also one we announce say then they roll out a new curriculum for senior secondary schools across the country. The new curriculum where then they roll out, then say go replace this usual 3 streams. Right now we get commercial, arts, and science. We can get 5 new streams where they range from science and technology, language and literature, social and cultural studies, economics, business and entrepreneurship, and maths and numeracy. The main aim for this introduction of the new curriculum now for make sure say picking and get flexibility, different choice where they go pick from. It will also focus for prepare the learner then for the job markets because the world they change, you know, go deep at the same way. Then we'll get over 70 subjects syllabus for help for developed society by addressing national priorities, and it will center on 21st century skills them. For 2 years, 2027, it will be examined from both the new and the old curriculum. 2026, 2027, we will use the 2 curriculum. 20 subjects from the new curriculum, 17 subjects from the old curriculum. The subject then from the new curriculum will be English, French, geography, business accounting, physics, health science, physical health education, biology, chemistry, agri, general maths, further maths, Arabic, politics and governance, principles of economics, principles of accounting, principles of commerce, business management studies, clerical office duties, history, African history, or history of Sierra Leone. From the old curriculum, the one that we will still deeper for these 2 years, CRS, Islamic studies, literature, science core, auto mechanic, building construction, electronics, engineering science, metal, food and nutrition, home management, management in living, visual arts, technical drawing, applied electricity, and woodwork. By 2028, current SS1 pupils will be candidates for WAS, and that one in the then will be exclusively examined on the new curriculum. Final news where our learner notes. At a time when rule of law index says 68% of countries around the world, then go bien we come by rule of law. The report will come out say Salone now one of 8 African countries full we come by rule of law. The rest of the world they go bien. West them bill they can go before. We get one of the biggest improvements on the rule of law index by 1.4%. We currently the 109 of 143 countries. We are the 20th of 38 countries in Africa, and we are only one of 8 countries we witness an improvement in the global rule of law index. This is the work President Bio they do. We in learned Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the Right Honorable Alpha Cisse, they lead as the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. They be recognized globally, and I will continue to see much progress on a lot of big global index we won't forget. Okay, and all the news for today. We can now to my very distinguished panel. I'm glad it's today for welcome on my left, the man we President Bio don puts in charge for being the national coordinator of this fight against Kush, Brigadier Professor Fodesa, and also the boss for the National Public Health Agency, and in the lead these fights. Next to him, I get Dr. Carol Labor, who is a senior advisor and technical lead for the Mental Health Secretariat at the National Public Health Agency. We can also talk about the mental health components of this FET. On my right, I get my brother as well, Andrew Jaya Kaikai, in at the head of the National Drug Enforcement Agency, but also I announced a President say he announced the setting up of a special security unit for FET drugs. Mr. Andrew Jaya Kaikai, His Excellency, appoints for lead that special security unit. We can learn about what in that security units they do. On my far right, I get my colleague, the Honorable Alfred Moy Jamiru, we are the pillar lead for community engagement, and we are the Deputy Minister for Local Governments and Community Affairs. This minister, I mean, to normally wake up, or meet up all events in cabinets, but today, you know, bring in cap. So you get for left small thing for una all. I wanna say, as I say for una, we not be for me, no play. We not for una, no more play. All right, I glad we there. Now go straight to this conversation, Professor Fodesa. 1 year ago, President Bio announced a state of emergency. Last week, he called this big meeting. He announced a string of other additional efforts. Now you know the lead of these FETs. Plenty conversation there on about how far these FETs don't go, what are the extent of these FETs. Then say we pull with accelerator, then say we pull on problem, more and more people. I want to let you use this platform, and we get time and I normally, but you are the lead, so we give you, I'll say 8 minutes. Let you lay the ground for it. What's that we do? Wait not the states of the war with President will be declared. Give me a big picture. What's that we do? If you're able to give me some numbers, yes, what's that we do right now? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. 1.5 years ago, April last year, His Excellency the President established the task force for drug and substance abuse. And the marching orders where His Excellency been given at that time. Now, 5 pillars will be established, and then 5 pillars them will be operational. Then 5 pillars where His Excellency given now treatment and care, rehabilitation and reintegration, community engagement, then law enforcement. So I want to take we all through the various pillars and the gains that we don't do over the past 1 year. On that treatment and care, at the Kisi Psychiatric Hospital alone, since the establishment of the task force to date, they don't see over 6,000 patients there. And of that 6,000 patients, they established, say, over 2,300 Nakush victims, Nakisi Psychiatric Hospital. Also, that team in Nakisi Psychiatric Hospital, they don't train over 1,400 health workers. Then health workers them, now for actually see patients them and take care of them. Then they don't develop a lot of protocols. The second pillar now, rehabilitation and reintegration. Since the establishment of the task force to date, we were able to establish 3 rehab centers, very expensive. Initially, we will be over ambitious. We say one health center, one rehab center in each district. But we find out for a very capital intensive, not only money, but even the manpower. So we're able to establish 3, one at Hastings, one at Daru, and one at Budama. And with the plans down the way now, maybe in the next 1 or 2 weeks, for establish the one at Bombali. Then we don't able actually rehabilitate over 4,000 former drug victims who don't push into the communities as ambassadors. Also, over 1,000 youth leaders, we don't insert them as peer educators in the community. Under the prevention and awareness pillar, where the Ministry of Information and Civic Education and they lead that pillar, they don't do quite a lot. They don't produce a lot of jingles that they don't translate into 6 local languages. This pillar also don't able to produce over 10,000 materials that we don't distribute at the community. Also, they don't engage journalists, bloggers, and CSOs them for actually bring them on board for the fight against Kush. The third pillar is community engagement pillar, where the Ministry of Local Governments and the leader pillar day. What they don't do, they don't meet with paramount chiefs, they don't meet with other traditional leaders, they don't meet with religious leaders, and because in any festival defect, if we not bring the community, for the community own the response, definitely will go fail. So that particular pillar, that they don't do, they engage them and they don't do that. And they don't engage over 1,000 community champions where they don't insert. And they don't reach over 50 schools and 3 public universities. All this while now for make sure say they engage the community so that everybody will be involved in what they do. On that community, the engagement, they don't train over 1,000 champions. They don't do 52 local advisory groups where they don't form them, and they don't do over 30 dialogues. Other law enforcement, they don't do several raids across the country. The most immediate one over the past 1 week, they don't do several raids now, over 90 hotspots in the western area, urban and rural, and they don't do seizures and arrest them. Where His Excellency don't actually don't present some of the additional measures on Thursday. He give other things they work for actually. One, His Excellency established a special fund. This time for make sure so we get sustained investment into the response. When our government in big commitments standing, because at the end of the day, one make sure say after this we use them will be free, because if we continue at the rate of the also, definitely the use them will get challenged. I want to let people that know, more family know say this Kush not a Sierra Leonean problem. West Africa, they consider West Africa now as the hot spot for synthetic opioids. And if you look at the data what they get, Sierra Leone they low. You get other countries than Senegal, Guinea, Liberia, and other ones. So definitely for talk for say, now a Sierra Leonean problem. No, Sierra Leone are just parts of just one bit of what's happening at the whole world. Even in America, drug fight not a one-day fight. Now sustained investment, continuous threats, will get rogues them. So all pillars of the response then go for be active, sustained investment, and sustained activities. If we say now just rehabilitation what they do, they will left law enforcement. No, we will lost the fight. Because it's just like if we did mop, then a tap open upstream. If you not close that tap, you will continue for mop for the rest of your life. Therefore, law enforcement, they go make sure see they identify the supply chain and break the supply chain them. From all starts, His Excellency tells me say clearly for say the people that when they take the drugs, if we catch them, even though they don't commit an offense, but will not treat them like criminals. Lord treat them as victims. I sure say that's what they do. We'll make sure that we'll take them out of the community and make sure that we'll insert them into rehab centers. The model we want to take now, we say then they go raid, immediately then come out raid, we then send the community engagement people them for go insert into that community and actually educate the people them on the harmful effects of Kush. And it don't work very well, because now Funkia community, for example, after the community engagement people then go after the raid, we see say some standoff in there between the victims them and the one that when they sell the drugs. They begin stone and say that this thing I don't want kill we, that this thing I don't want kill we. So now that they happen, and one foresee then kind of thing them they happen. So on that note, I briefed Mr. Moderator on what we don't do so far.
See, let's make a leg prof, na real general. Very concise, straight to the points to the facts, which we don't do under your leadership. But I will move to Mr. Kaikai. I think one of the things that we professor say is not a law enforcement problem. We for close the tap. Plenty family believe say we not don't do enough on enforcement. His Excellency don't now set up the special security unit. I want you explain to Famulem what's in these special units, what's in our role, and then talk about on the law enforcement side in this fact. What's your waiting? I know we don't get the highlights, but waiting at the strategy. Waiting people learn for expect. What's your waiting don't happen so far, and I do that. We'll give you 6 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. And good afternoon all, good afternoon everybody. You know, this fete, now we all fete. Law enforcement, we dey do best all we will do. But also the communities, them everywhere we also they go. People in that community, they know community, no, they don't go. Where you go say you don't know that they sell or that they bring that poison at the community. But we'll come back to that. As Professor don't say, since the 4th of April 2024, where President established this task force, a lot has been done under Professor in leadership. Now let's talk about law enforcement. Last week, Thursday, President came up, say for set up a special security unit. That special security unit, we established them on Saturday. Waiting and they mean. We already don't get a law enforcement pillar within the task force, now so we call them. We get men and station at OSD headquarters from last year up to now. Police, military, NDLA, people from ONS, people from CISA, the Central Intelligence Agency again at this country, will all be done today. But with the formation now of the special security unit, we don't add that number there, we don't up that number there. Because we find out, say, just like we Professor talk, no matter how many rehabilitation we do, if we not cut the supply chain, na bonfi we could do. And we na the special security unit, with particular task, with primary task, now for cut the supply chain. Let's just give this example. In 2024, they will sell kush for 5 million for rap. Then when we intensify the rates there at that time, right now as I talk, you don't go get kush for even 10 million or 15 million. Now you go get them for 20 million, 25 million. That are the demand and supply aspect of it. Because as they intensify the rate, now so that they hide, and now so they there. Now, from Saturday, inside Freetown alone, we get a standing force of over 200. I get over 95 military personnel, over 86 police personnel, NDLA staff them, over 25 of them one day. Then we get CISA, we get ONS, who don't effectively begin go now all the communities them. From the 25th of October alone to yesterday when at the 3rd of November. We don't go now over 90 communities them. The communities they will don't go because we separate ourselves into 3 teams them. You get East, you get Central, you get West. For East, for example, we don't go to the magazine community, Mountain Court, Junction, and WAF. Frobe community and WAF. We don't go Kanike, Kisi Bome, Texaco, O Road. We don't go Pamola Field, Shell New Road Junction, Olwaf Junction, Peacock Farm, Rukupa, Oti Junction, Haja Fatmata, Congo Wata, Abu Kombo, Kalaba Town, Mabore, Ojuku, Hastings, Jue. All that side and we don't go there through community sensitization, but more also rates. But I can't give the figure of that. I just want to highlight the communities that we don't go to. And one of the big things that are very, very important to we, everybody in this country, any community where you go, they want this fete for done. The community they welcome with open hands. Kumbra them, papa them, community leaders, they all they cry. They want this fete done. Even to the victims them, where they on kush. In fact, some area they go by tell they commodity, they run after the motoka because they want to go for treatment, they want to go for rehabilitation. So there is a huge appetite and determination for make sure say we win this war. The central communities they all don't go into so far. Central Business District, of course, Krube, Bome Kingdom, Congo Cross Bridge, Congo Town Bridge, all the area where they call so now area the way the Kush victim them they sit down. So they go meet them at their community there. Congo Town Bridge, Black Street, Stadium Gate. Another area that the Brookfields, Ascension Town, Cruton Road, Orongo Sopit, then a lower Ecowa Street, Falcon Bridge, Bus Station, Fireborn Wharf, Susan's Bay, all the area they need. Now the western communities, of course, now Lumley Market, Aberdeen Road, Lumley Beach, Crabtown, Lumley, Tengbe Town, Aberdeen, Moscow, Oloshorona, Moriton, Wilberforce, Ferry Road, all inside they would go. Baghdad. Baghdad, na the Tengbe Town area, under that Congo Cross Bridge area. Now they call Baghdad, now they Sidon. We don't go all inside and they. West Rural, we don't go Levuma Beach, Funkia, you the Pakri. But we don't make enormous improvement at the area. The Mechkem, I don't care. Miltimagai Junction. All the area they now. Since that time to now, inside the last 1 week alone, the arrest they will make, or Friday alone, this past Friday, we make 19 arrests, 663 wraps of ash, another drug where they call ash. Instead they dip on a heavy one. But I come to this one. Okay. So from November 25th to yesterday, October 25th to yesterday, when on November 3rd. So far, we don't do 46 arrests. That are just within East, West, Central, Freetown. 28 men, 18 women. Seizures so far, 3,073 wraps of kush, 63 wraps of ash. Then tramadol again on the rise. In 2024, we will just begin. The tramadol will be there out, Mr. Minister. Now be the 220 milligrams. Me not lawyer, me not a doctor, but I know say in the hospitals there, even for pain, they can prescribe around, I think 50 milligram to 100 milligram. So you get what they call recreational tramadol. That they on the increase. Recreational, they kind of different flavor. You get strawberry flavor. You get vanilla flavor. Well, that one then they, remember I said the dosage you then can give around 100 milligram maximum. Well, the recreational tramadol, they be there 220. Now they get 225 milligrams. 225. They get 225 milligrams. They get.
How na stability as on?
They don't get up to 250 milligrams. They get 300 milligrams don't come out. 400 milligrams don't come out. 500 milligrams don't come out. About 3 weeks ago, the law enforcement, we all with ONS, the police, the CDS, we go hold meeting at Jedem and at the Liberia border. We been go there particularly because of the constant issues that we get between we and Liberia. The passage of drugs in that area today. That third Friday they were there. Before that next day, they had a full warehouse of over 300 to 500 milligrams of tramadol. They be the way to no more, but we not allow them. The next day, we hold our warehouse there, as I talk, then in a Toku custody. Then as we passed last week, we go to other areas there because we own job, we they go engage the victims them. But primary role, now for go after the one the way they import, the one the way they manufacture, and the one the way they peddle and the communities them. The time don't know.
I don't extend you 2 cents while you dey talk because you updates very important.
Where you go come back?
So I can give you another 2 minutes. Let you wrap up.
Okay.
So just so you go down. Yes.
We dey talk to the communities then. Because every community where you go, no community not the way they go. Where the one they within that community, they don't know whether they sell and whether they bring a come in. So we appeal to the communities then for our safety and security.